Welcome to the Bronx Journal. I'm your guest host, Thomas Garcia. It was supposed to be a historic time for the South Bronx and Major League Baseball with the unveiling of the new Yankee Stadium. Unfortunately, community activists claim the $1.5 billion palace did not revitalize the community. Instead, it has led to neighborhood protests and broken promises by the Yankee organization. Here with us to talk about the situation is community activist and entrepreneur Robert Carrillo. Welcome to the show, Robert.
All right, thank you for having me, Thomas.
I hear a lot of rumblings and grumblings going on with the community in regards to the new Yankee Stadium. Tell us what's going on.
Well, first, I'm one of the spokespeople excuse me, for the South Bronx Coalition, which is a community-based organization that has a lot of concerns about the new Yankee Stadium development, the non-demolition of the old Yankee Stadium, and the effects that it's having on the community.
What were some of the promises that the New York Yankees gave to the community that hasn't came to fruition?
Community Benefits Agreement Act, which is an agreement that the Yankees made with the community. In that, $800,000 per year was supposed to go to local community organizations. Now, there's some question about where that $800,000 is. One of the other questions actually is the Yankees were supposed to start paying that $800,000 to the community from the time they broke ground on the new Yankee Stadium. Now the Yankees are stating that that $800,000 is supposed to be from the time the stadium opened. In reality, we're supposed to have $2.4 million to local community organizations, but we only have $800,000. Another was 25% of the jobs were supposed to go to local community residents. That's part of the construction jobs inside Yankee Stadium, and for the demolition, and that hasn't happened. Also, we're talking about parks. As the previous speaker was talking about, 4 acres have been unaccounted for. They're just lost in part of this. Where the new Yankee Stadium is now, there was a track and field. There were tennis courts, a soccer field, and a track. And that's no longer there. It's nowhere near the horizon. Nobody knows where it is, where it's going, and when it's coming. The old Yankee Stadium is still up. That's valuable space that could have been used and still hasn't been knocked down.
What is the community doing about this? What has they been doing in terms of fighting about this?
Well, one of the things is we're not against the Yankees. You know, most of us, all of us, as a matter of fact, are Bronx residents, grew up Yankee fans, myself included. So we're not against the Yankees. We're just concerned that the promises they made to the community to get the stadium built, they haven't lived up to their end of the bargain. So one of the things that we're doing is we're organizing. We're organizing the community residents, local community residents, within a 1-mile radius, the residents that are most affected by the development. We want them, A, to know what's going on, B, to speak up about it, and demand that the Yankees live up to their promises.
We talked about earlier about the All Hallows situation in terms of they're one of the high schools that are affected about the new stadium. What has happened to them?
Well, All Hallows, as Juan Gonzalez wrote in the Daily News, they lost their park. The baseball team, rather, has lost their park where they practice and where they play their home games. Now, I believe they have to go to the northwest part of the Bronx to play home games. So they're actually going away to play home games. What's very interesting about this, and it's crazy because you have this brand new $1.5 billion stadium. You know, the Yankees are a world-class organization, or supposed to be. The Washington Nationals, who are probably considered one of the worst teams in baseball, the Washington Nationals last year built a new stadium. And what they're doing for their community is completely opposite of what the Yankees are doing. For example, the Washington Nationals allow local high school baseball teams to use their field. I'm talking about the brand new stadium, to use their field when they're away from the stadium. The Yankees definitely aren't doing that. They're taking away the parks to begin with, and so those are issues, those are concerns, that we have, and the Yankees aren't answering. They aren't answering the call.
Are the parents very upset that their kids are not able to play in the parks?
They are, but they don't know who to complain to. It becomes, is it a Parks and Recreation issue? Is it a Yankees issue? The Yankees asked the community, they pleaded with the community to allow the Yankees to build this stadium on public land. They made these promises so that the community can back them up. And now that the Yankees have their stadium, they aren't answering the community. They're basically telling us it's a Parks and Recreation issue, or with regards to transportation, it's an MTA issue.
What do you hear from the politicians in the community regarding this issue?
Well, The politicians, we really haven't heard too much from the politicians. Again, a lot of these politicians are public representatives pushed for the development of the Yankee Stadium. Now, not all, some were against it, but there were many who were for it, again, under the assumption that there would be some promises would actually be lived up to, and they haven't been. So we still, and I believe the previous speaker talked about it, eventually we'll find out who voted for the development, who voted for it, who voted against it, and that still hasn't come out yet.
You recently held a protest across the street from the stadium during the Yankees and Cleveland Indians game. There was a lot of people, a lot of show up for the community. How was the response to the community regarding this issue?
Well, the community is definitely supporting us. Again, there are a lot of issues that haven't been answered, a lot of questions that haven't been answered by the Yankees, by politicians. So we had a protest actually the first day that the Yankee Stadium was open, an exhibition against the Cubs. It was a small gathering. And again, we're not protesting, we're not saying that we don't want Yankee Stadium there. One, it's already there, so we can't do anything about it. But two, we supported it. A lot of people supported it under the assumption that we would get things in return. So there was a small rally held the first day, and then, of course, opening day, there was also a rally held with a larger turnout. The local community supports it, bottom line. Now, whether or not we have the support of Yankee fans coming from outside, we got a mixed reaction. But people are willing to listen. People want to know what's going on. And that's what we're trying to serve as a medium for people to either A, speak their mind, or B, be informed of what's going on.
So what's next in line for this protest? Are there going to be meetings held? Are there going to be more rallies going on?
Presumably, yes. There definitely be more rallies. The idea, again, is to get answers to these questions. And beyond answers, we want action taken. We want Yankee Stadium to be demolished, the old stadium. It needs to be demolished. Shea Stadium, the demolition of Shea Stadium started the day after the season ended. Yankee Stadium is still up. Why? Why is that still up? Go ahead.
One thing I want to ask about is, like, I noticed that when you go around the old Yankee Stadium, there's still seats around there. Why isn't it taking so long? Does it have something to do with licensing issue?
Well, that's the Yankees, again, it was mentioned before, greed. Greed is really what at the root of this. The Yankees made an agreement with local officials that the Yankees were going to sell the seats in the old stadium. Now, there's been a debate for, I guess, up until this point as to how the proceeds of that sale would be split up. Now, the Yankees initially said that the community would get X amount, X percent, a large percent. I believe it was something between 60 and 70%. But now, of course, the value of the seats is pretty high. The Yankees are selling the grass. They're selling everything of the Yankee Stadium. The Yankees want that reverse. They want the bulk of the profits of the stadium, and it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. Again, the Yankees haven't lived up to many of their promises, yet they still want more.
Give us a contact information where people could get more info about the new stadium.
All right, we have a website. It's called www.yankeepromisesbrokenpromises.com. So it's, again, yankeepromisesbrokenpromises.com. There'll be a ton of information there. We'll have petitions. Again, it'll be a source for the community and for anyone who's interested and wants to know what's going on to get more information. And express your opinions and whatnot.
Mr. Robert Correa, thank you for coming on the show, and it was a pleasure.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, coming up, guest host Jose Ventura will talk to an organization that gives local income to family access to New York's cultural life.